Herzlich willkommen bei der QIB. Heute geht es um visuelle Beurteilung beschichteter Oberflächen. Erst betrachten wir unbeschichtete Oberflächen vor dem Beschichtungsprozess. Anschließend gehen wir auf die Beurteilung beschichteter Oberflächen ein. Außerdem beschreiben wir die korrekte Anwendung der QIB-Prüffolie bei der Bewertung beschichteter Oberflächen.
In order to achieve a satisfactory coding result, the condition of the workplace prior to the coding process plays a key role. Solid deposits, such as welding spatter or scale, as well as mechanical damage to the component surface and residues from waterproof marking pens remain visible after the coding process, or lead to difficulties with adhesion. In some cases, they can be more noticeable through the finished coating. Chemical contaminations are difficult to recognize prior to coating, but have a significant effect on the coating result. Adhesive residues and silicone residues in particular cannot be removed by most common pre-treatment chemicals and lead to massive defects during the coating process. Burnt-on oils in the area of weld seams are also difficult to identify in advance. For best coating results, it is essential that the components are designed to be suitable for coating. This includes the installation of suitable suspension options and, in the case of chemical pretreatment, the provision of drainage openings for any liquids that have entered. In the case of corroded components or components with an external coating, close consultation with the coating company is necessary in order to agree on the appropriate coating process or the necessary additional work. In this way, the coating can be applied in accordance with customer requirements. The assessment of finished coated surfaces can lead to different results depending on the observer and requirements. In order to be able to carry out an objective assessment of the surface in question, the QIB categorizes the surface quality requirements into 4 so-called optical levels. Different viewing times and viewing distances apply for each optics level. Offers from coating companies are regularly calculated according to Optical Class 2. Any requirements that deviate from this, as well as areas requiring special consideration, must be agreed in detail between the client and the coating company before the start of the order. The surface must be analyzed unbiased, that is, without having identified possible defects in advance.
Also das, was wir jetzt gesehen haben, wenden wir jetzt in der Praxis an. Wir wollen jetzt hier hinter mir das Bauteil nach Optikstufe 2 bewerten. Dazu stehe ich jetzt 1,5 Meter Abstand zum Bauteil und werde es mir jetzt 3 Sekunden betrachten. Bei der Betrachtung habe ich Fehlstellen in der Oberfläche festgestellt, Verunreinigungen, Verschmutzungen. Die werde ich jetzt mit einer Prüffolie nach Optikstufe 2 einmal prüfen. Nach Optikstufe 2 ist dieses Bauteil in Ordnung.
If potential defects are already recognized during the overall inspection, according to optical classes, a detailed inspection of these areas is then carried out using the QIB test foil.
Hallo, heute wollen wir euch die QIB-Prüffolie einmal vorstellen. Mit der Prüffolie kann ich Fehlstellen in der Oberfläche bewerten. Auf der Referenzfläche werden Oberflächenstörungen erfasst. Anschließend erfolgt eine Bewertung anhand vereinbarter QIB-Optikstufen.
If defects are detected when inspecting coated surfaces according to QIB optical classes, the next step is a detailed inspection of the corresponding areas using the QIB test foils. The square test field is used to determine the quantity of surface phenomena to be assessed. With the so-called defect sizes underneath, it is possible to make a differentiated allocation and determine whether the defect sizes are still within the tolerance range of the optical class or are outside the tolerance range. The following conditions must be observed when analyzing the details.
Hiermit wollten wir euch die Benutzung der Prüffolie einmal näher bringen.
On this sample, defects are recognizable in the overall view according to Optical Class 2. The QIB test foil is placed over the detected defects.
Auf unsere zu prüfende Oberfläche.
According to QIB specifications, 30 craters smaller than 1 millimeter may be visible per square meter, but no more than 8 per 100 square centimeters. For smaller components, a mathematical conversion of the number of permissible craters is possible. For smaller areas, a mathematical conversion is no longer expedient, as otherwise, the permissible number of craters, bubbles, and inclusions can increase massively. The assessment of other defect patterns, for example orange peel or color runoff, per optical class when using the test foil is described in more detail in QIB Information Sheet 3.1, Visual Assessment of Organically Coated Decorative Surfaces.